You will always be.
Alert.
You will never take.
Crap from anyone.
With Citadel Honey Bunny ending on quite the cliffhanger, fans are anxiously awaiting plot details for Season 2. It's still way too early for anything definitive, but today, on ScreenRant, we're diving into our theory on why one of the show's most endearing characters may wind up its darkest. Citadel Honey Bunny ends with Bunny set to face off against a hodgepodge of Baba's agents, who are on their way to capture him under the auspices of finishing what Baba started. Thanks to KD, who believes that he knows what Baba really wants, or at least what the Baba he knows would want. While that final shot of Bunny ready to take on Baba's goons leaves open the question of what will happen to Bunny, we also already know from his appearance in Citadel that he lives to see another day. This leads us to assume that the big fight he's preparing for as the credits roll on Season 1 of Honey Bunny is not going to come to pass, or at least it won't be the perilous, life-ending threat that it's set up to be. But what factors could prevent this fight from escalating into the showdown it promises to be? Part of this is down to two surprise surviving characters, KD and Baba. The army of henchmen 10 minutes away will arrive to find KD still breathing and giving us an anticlimactic ending to that promise of a huge battle.
I'm not done yet.
While it would be a bit of a letdown after that epic rotating camera move that closed out the season, it is also the most logical route to keeping Bunny alive, albeit taken as a prisoner of Baba's forces. Baba then returns to save the day, having somehow learned that KD was ignoring his order to stand down. This seems like the most dramatic option, and the one that could lead to where we think Season 2 will take the characters, with Baba giving up and making way for a new villain. We know that Baba no longer has any reason to go after Honey and Bunny since Armada has been destroyed. He will even realize the importance of family beyond just creating his own personal army of brainwashed orphans. In doing so, he may begin to reconcile with his past actions, setting the stage for a potential redemption arc. Another hanging thread from the Season 1 finale is the question of Chakos Family. They were a major part of the character in 2000, and while we didn't see them in person until the finale, they were consistently talked about by Chacko. In the finale, KD stops by Chacko's home and pretends to be an old colleague of his, which technically he is, although he fails to mention where those allegiances have wound up in 2000. He uses Chacko's computer to find Ludo's address, right before he's told by Nicole to stand down and refuses, leading to KD's team finding that Ludo has escaped and destroyed his hardware in lieu of Baba's team utilizing it. This leads to the final fight scene, as well as Nicole's death at Honey's family home. The question here is whether or not KD killed Chacko's wife and child. It seems like a particularly evil thing to do, but we've also seen previously that KD is willing to do anything and kill anyone in order to complete the mission. If KD survives his injuries from the shootout with Bunny, then the death of Chacko's family will create a perfect natural tension between the two characters and give us something for KD to deal with morally. His Season 2 arc will be to make amends for his horrific actions. But the real question remains, will KD be able to truly atone for his past, or will his guilt consume him? The last we see of Chacko, he's entering his home, where his wife Dina isn't answering his calls.
Dina?
Just a few minutes prior, they were in the company of KD, who was looking generally threatening. Given KD's change of heart shortly thereafter, his decision to toss his allegiance to Baba began with the visit with Chakos Family, and it could be that he did nothing more than tie them up. However, that's not a very dramatic conclusion.
But you wanted more?
And with so much likely to go Honey and Bunny's way at the top of Season 2, it makes more sense for Chacko to be the one carrying some dramatic weight. Perhaps his fate will intertwine with KD's redemption arc, adding complexity to their rivalry. To really up the melodrama factor, Chakos Family, or at least his wife, will be dead at the hands of KD at the beginning of Season 2. This will lead to him going after KD, which Bunny will try to stop after having turned KD away from Baba's control. The death of his loved ones will send Chacko over the edge into a rage that transforms him from one of the most kind-hearted of the cast into a man on a mission of vengeance. This leads to KD's death and Bunny being forced to now save his mentor Baba, whom Chacko blames for KD's crimes. But wait, it gets more dramatic. In saving Baba from Chacko, no doubt in a highly stylized action sequence, Bunny will now have to face Chacko's wrath himself. The blame will pass from Baba to Bunny and friends will become enemies. Then there's the question of Dahlia Archer and whether she'll play a role in season 2. The character was cast for Honey Bunny, with Emma Canning in the role, but she doesn't seem to appear in the final show, at least not in any notable capacity. As the antagonist of the original Citadel, Dalia casts a large shadow. The problem, of course, is just how much she could be utilized before her takedown of Citadel in 2022, but it stands to reason that since season 2 of Honey Bunny will take place in 2000, we will see some of her as she rises through the political ranks. How pivotal will her rise be to the events shaping season 2? Could her ascent through the political ranks become the key thread that intertwines with the growing tension in the story? It's interesting to note that Dalia has a similar arc to Zuni, who works for Citadel and secretly defected after it was revealed that her husband Rinzi's death was due to Citadel and not Baba, aka Vishwa, who was believed to be the cause. With Zuni gone, presumably for good, it could be time for Dalia to make her presence known in Honey Bunny season 2. However, she won't become the new antagonist, simply because she's bound to remain central to the plot of the original Citadel. That said, the younger version of the character will present us with the on-screen death of her husband, leading to her decision to take down Citadel. This is another event that will likely be saved for season 2 of the main show, but with the casting of Canning, it feels likely that we will see her in some capacity. If we had to guess, it would be as a more straight-laced character, with her eventual killing of thousands of Citadel agents contrasting with her more noble actions in the early days of her career, wherein she will be an aide to Honey.
I would have met you in DC, but roses can be needy little ones.
But back to Chakos' revenge, the biggest question raised by the original Citadel that has yet to be answered is exactly where Nadia's mother, Honey, is in 2022, or 2030 for that matter. This will be the crux of Honey Bunny Season 2, which may put more focus on her struggle, and follow Honey attempting to reunite with Bunny in the aftermath of his encounter with Baba's army in the season's opening moments. This will be her way of fully proving herself as a secret agent, perhaps even joining Citadel once more to track down Bunny, which is where a young Dahlia Archer will come into play. Tragedy will befall Honey at some point in her quest, and we theorize that the ending of season 2 will serve as a potential series finale, with Bunny holding Honey in his arms as she lay dying from wounds suffered at the hands of Chacko, whose rage takes him so far that he inadvertently mortally wounds her. This will be the moment in which Chacko realizes his mission of vengeance has been for naught, that he has simply created more problems for those around him in lieu of solving his own crisis. In the end, he returns to the side of good, brought back into the fold of his original found family.
Welcome back.
There is an alternate concept here, however. If Honey Bunny's popularity increases, perhaps the writers will be inclined to keep Honey alive for the sake of ratings. If that's the case, then it would be great to eventually see her reunited with Nadia in the main show. If that's the case, then we think Chacko will only come close to killing Honey, perhaps seeing in her, Bunny, and Nadia a vision of his own family.
We are family!
Of course, this is just where we think things will go in season 2. Let us know in the comments what you think, and thanks for watching ScreenRant.